What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is your first time tuning in. It's probably because you just searched up how to scan for stocks. So what I want to do in this video is provide you guys with a free resource every single day on YouTube that you can use to scan for stocks. So this way you don't have to worry about building your own scanners. You don't have to worry about paying for an expensive subscription, which if you've ever searched for them, you know they can get pretty pricey. So everything we're going to show you is free. It's on YouTube. It's streamed every single day from 7 in the morning until 4 p.m. And the stock scanners that are provided on the stream will for sure get you every single stock that you need to know about that's moving throughout the day. So what I'm going to do is show you how to get there, where you need to go, and then we're going to run you through what each of the scanners does and how you can use them to your advantage. So let's get into the screen share here. We're going to go to YouTube, and you're going to go to the search bar of YouTube and type in Trading Clips channel or Trading Clips, and it's going to look like this. Okay, the channel itself will look like this. So you'll know you're on the right place, or you're in the right place when you come across a YouTube channel like this. And every day it's going to be looking just like this, a live stream, and it says live day trading scanners, trade ideas. So you're going to go ahead, obviously open up this stream, and you can enlarge it to full screen. That way it's easier to see the tickers that are coming across each scanner. I will say this looks very overwhelming, very complicated, but it's really not. So what we're going to do is go over each of these scanners briefly and give you an understanding of what it is they do. So this top left scanner, and let me move this out of the way. The top left scanner that you see all this green, baby blue, and pink, that is called a high of day momentum scanner. So what that's going to do is it's going to alert you of stocks that are running upwards on the day or breaking out with lots of momentum. What I'll show you right now, for example, is the stock that's breaking up right now. You see the ticker symbol here, WAFU. Let me pull across this stock chart. You can see the stock is starting to jump up currently right now with this big jump. So this is starting to see volume, it's starting to break up, and so that scanner is starting to alert you of that and saying, hey, look at me, the stock is starting to move. So everything you're going to get from that top left scanner is generally going to be stocks that are trying to break up and go long bias on the day. And that's where you're going to find all your big momentum movers. Another one I'll give you an example of was just today. You do see the ticker symbol. See ANVS here? Let's pull that one up just so you can see it. So that is pulling up this stock here that's run from $35 all the way to $65. So that scanner was just alerting you of this move on ANVS, saying, hey, this is picking up in momentum, watch it, it's starting to run, okay? So we'll take that back off the screen. So again, as a fresh little recap there before we move on, everything in the top left is to notify you of stocks that are breaking out on the day and trying to run higher, all right? Now the scanner just below that, that's all green, that says reversal scanner. This scanner here is going to do its best job at finding stocks that have either been downtrending on the day or uptrending on the day that are soon to start reversing. So this is generally trying to find you something that's ready to bounce or something that's ready to reverse. Now I'll say this isn't my favorite scanner, and I generally don't even use it that often based on the way that I trade. So I'm going to say that this isn't my favorite scanner, but for many, they love this, and this can actually notify you of really good stocks. And let me explain. This scanner is supposed to alert you of stocks that are getting ready to reverse or bounce. Sometimes they'll provide you a stock that really isn't ready to reverse or bounce, and it's going to actually keep trending. So again, this is just another resource that you can use, but do be mindful. Just because it says reversal scanner doesn't mean the stocks have to reverse. And oftentimes, it actually alerts you of stocks that have really good days that never end up reversing. So you could almost use this as a scanner to look for a bounce or look for a reversal. And as you're going through those tickers, if you come to find that a stock looks really strong, you might have just found yourself a good trending stock for the day. So now let's talk about this dark blue scanner, okay? So this dark blue scanner right here, kind of in the middle, this is a volume leader scanner. So in short, this is going to tell you top to bottom the stocks that are leading in volume for the day. So as you can see on the very top, it says 80.4 million, 49 million, 32 million, 30 million, 30 million, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, okay? So that's really just going to give you kind of a volume perspective as to which stocks are hot for the day, kind of. Now, I will say just because a stock is trading a lot of volume doesn't actually mean that it has to trade well on the day. It could still go down. So this is really just a way for you to find out what stocks have the most volume in the market. And another way of thinking of that is you looking at the volume leaders is a way of knowing what most of the market has their eyes on, or where everyone's kind of gearing up to be. All right, so let's move over to the next one. The next one is the biggest gainers. It is as it sounds. This scanner is going to show you and tell you all of the stocks with the biggest gains on the day. Now, there's a couple of reasons why you would want to use something like this. A, to figure out which stocks have gone on Ripper Magoos, but B, you might also be able to ride some more of that momentum. It might not be finished. And C, I don't even know if I said A, but we're on C. C, you might find a stock that's just been going stupid on the day and it's ready to start crashing, and you could take a short position. So a couple ways you could use that, but the gist of it is you're going to use that little beige scanner in the middle, the biggest gainers, to know what are the biggest Ripper Magoos on the day. And that's pretty much just it, all right? But it's definitely good to know what's been moving, okay? You might have been working, right? You might have been at work and you're coming home, you got your feet up, you got a cocktail in your hand, you're ripping them back and you're ready to go. So you pop onto YouTube, you go to the Trading Clips YouTube channel, because that's where you should be, and then you pop on and you're like, well, what's been moving today? And you go, well, let's see. And you go, ANVS. Holy shit, it's a fucking ripper. It might say something like that. So that's probably a guy you want to use, the biggest gainers. All right, so now let's move over to the biggest losers. What do you know? Biggest losers. This is going to tell you which stocks have had the biggest declines on the day. And why would you want to know this? Well, hey, maybe something is really on sale today that had the biggest loss, and it's a stock that you've been following for a while, or something that you may now be interested in and you want to take part in that and you want to buy the dip. Or vice versa, could see momentum continuing down and you want to be bearish. So ideally, you would use the biggest losers the same way that you would use the biggest gainers, okay? So moving forward, this one says morning down gappers. So the pink one here, this is morning down gappers. So each day in the market, when we wake up very early, I'm up about 6 a.m., others up at 7 a.m. I'm not necessarily trading at 6 a.m., but a lot of times I'm just up working, going through emails, getting the scanners up and online to YouTube, looking in chat rooms, and doing whatever else on the day. All right. So the down gappers. All right. This is going to tell you all the stocks that have started the morning with a gap down. Okay. The reason you would want to know that is you might find out, hey, Tesla stock has gapped down today 10% and we think it's going to continue down. You might want to sell a position. You might want to enter a position short. But in the gist of it is the pink one here and the green one to the right are gap scanners. These scan for stocks that have gapped up overnight. Now, more commonly, I'm going to be using the gap scanner on the right, the up gappers, the green one, because this is going to notify me of all the stocks that have had really big jumps up on the day. So as I said before, these scanners will naturally find you everything that's moving in the market. There are enough scanners here that do enough different things that you should be able to find pretty much any stock that's been talked about through the day, or any stock that's really hot on the day, to any stock that's just an absolute piece of shit. Okay, you really should, because these are all set up to find stocks that are spiking, stocks that are reversing, stocks that have gapped up in the morning, and then we'll get to the scanners that are down in the bottom in just a second. So before we move on from the gappers, just know each day when you wake up and you come into this stream, you're going to want to navigate to the two on the right, the down gapper and the up gapper, and start your day off by searching through those tickers to see if they have the right setups, because the one on the right, the green one, the up gapper, that'll show you stocks gapped up that might be in bull flags or ready to go for a gap and go trading strategy, and so on and so forth. Okay, so again, the recap, those two gap scanners show you things that have big gaps overnight from the previous closing day in the market. Now we'll move to the two scanners on the bottom. The top ones are trade ideas, and the ones on the bottom are Benzinga. So from Benzinga down here, this is a price spike scanner. The one on the very top left that we talked about first, the high a day scanner, that will generally find you all the stocks with a lot of momentum currently going up. But at times, the settings in that scanner may not pick up everything. But our friend down here does. So the one down here that notifies you of price spikes will sometimes notify you of a stock that's spiking up right now that might not have a ton of volume, okay, as to why it doesn't come up on the scanner on the top. This one has, I guess you could say, a broader range of settings, okay, where it's encompassing more opportunity. So therefore, you can see that on the scanner down here, it notifies us of the stock TCS. And up here, we don't have TCS. So a lot of times I use the bottom left scanner in conjunction with the top left scanner because they sort of do the same thing. They notify you if stocks are going up right now, generally with momentum. But occasionally the top left will miss some and the bottom left will end up picking up the ones that it misses. So it's really just a way to not miss anything. So you're always on the Ripper Magoo, all right? Moving over to the last scanner, this one here, this is a halt resumption scanner. So everything that comes across this window is going to be a stock on the day that has been halted or is currently halted, all right? If you're not familiar with what that means, most oftentimes when a stock gets halted, it's going to be because there's a lot of volume, there's a lot of momentum, and this thing is just cranking and banking, baby, which basically means that it's going up so fast or it's dropping so fast that they're going to halt the market. They're going to pause trading temporarily to allow the volatility to slow down, to basically make traders stop clicking the goddamn buttons, okay? That's really what's happening. So the halt resumption scanner is going to pick you up stocks that are halted, currently not trading, or they have just resumed their trading after the halt, and generally they're going to be running on some sort of momentum, or they're halted because the stock has had a unexpected event where the news is breaking and things are just going nuts. So everything that comes across a halt and a resumption scanner doesn't necessarily have to be good. It doesn't necessarily have to be bad. We could have situations where there's good news and the stock's ripping up. We can have a situation where the stock is having bad news and it's ripping down. It's just there to say, hey, something's happening to the stock because it's halted. Go take a peek at it, and so on and so forth. Now what I'm going to do is just show you guys a couple settings that are in these scanners that are probably most important for you to follow, okay? So we'll try to do this pretty quickly. So wherever on these scanners you see float, that's a very important category on the scanner, and I'll just kind of point them out for you. So on the gap scanners, it's this far right category. You can see FLT, share, and it's got these little boxes here. So wherever it says FLT, short, share, short, it's that one. So wherever you see these like bright yellow, orange, red, very green, bright yellow, that's the share float. That tells you how much or how many shares are available on the public market to trade. The more shares there are, the less of a chance you have to see a really big run because the supply is so high. The lower the float, the better a chance you have of seeing that stock run really big because there's just low supply. So if you have a low supply and a lot of demand, prices can fly. And that's generally the way we kind of say that. Whenever there's low supply, high demand, prices fly, so on and so forth. So that is a very important category for you to watch, is that share float category. Another very important one to watch is the volume for the day. So you can see vol, VOL today. That's going to show you how much volume is currently traded on the day for the stock. The reason that that is good is because generally the more volume, the more liquidity. Less volume, less liquidity. More volume, more liquidity, better fills, better transactions. Less volume, less liquidity, worse fills, harder to trade, get in and out, that sort of thing, okay? Now, as a rule of thumb, generally speaking, early in the morning, pre-market, if a stock is trading, in the 500 million shares, there's usually a lot of attention on that stock, and that might be somewhere that you're going to want to gravitate, okay? So that's really the couple categories that I wanted to cover for you. Everything else, I can tell you that it's not going to really make a big difference for you. So those are the main categories that I would focus on, especially if you're a beginner, and that's generally how you're going to want to use the scanners. And then just as a reminder, this is a YouTube stream at the Trading Clips channel. I would love it if you guys could go ahead and follow the channel and help that channel grow as well. We would greatly appreciate that. And the last thing that I'm going to leave you with is this. We start the scanner at 7 a.m. and it runs until 4 p.m. We can run these scanners a little bit longer into the after hours trading session if you would like us to do that. And the reason it might be beneficial to do that for you is because after hours is when a lot of companies are going to report their earnings report, all right? And during that time, you will see big moves or big swings in volatility on stocks, and these scanners will notify you of that. So if that's something that you guys would like me to leave up longer throughout the after hours trading session, please let me know in the comment sections below, and I will do that for you guys. So with that being said, thanks again for tuning in, and I will see you guys on the next video. Everybody, take care.